Welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and today we're visiting with Kristin Hildabrand, Warren County Extension Agent for Horticulture. Now, Kristin, today we're going to talk about a class at the end that I'm really excited about, but it kind of focuses on raised beds. And people now, they want to garden. Grocery prices are a little bit higher, so people might want to look at growing their own food.
That's exactly right. Say, you don't have a huge amount of space or you don't have a tiller. I know sometimes people don't have a lot of extra funds available for that. And so raised beds could be a good option to look at. I know a lot of times when we start talking about soil preparation and things like that, a lot of times without that tiller, it can be a little bit more difficult. But when you're actually building the soil above the ground, and there's a lot of different design options with raised beds. I feel like that's the beauty of it too. Not everyone has to be exactly alike, but a lot of times it can be raised anywhere from 6 to 12 to even a lot taller, depending on how you want to build those raised beds. And so a lot of times when it's raised above the actual ground itself, that soil actually warms up faster, so you can actually plant a little sooner versus a conventional kind of garden space.
Absolutely. And you talked about the design, and I think that's what makes it so neat. You know, people use blocks. Or straw bales, or wood, or they have some really nice ones that you can buy that are pre-made if that is more your aesthetic. So it's really accessible to anybody.
Right, it actually is. And one of the other things is, like we talked about, when you can build it a little bit higher, like say if you have some back issues, if you're a little bit older and you don't want to bend down, so to speak, so low, then you can actually build it where it's more right at your height, where you can just reach over. A lot of times, even for people that are in wheelchairs and things like that, there's actually a tabletop design that you can actually have it as tall as a table would be, and they can actually wheel underneath it. A lot of times you can grow a lot more in that space because, it's more intensive that way.
And so for beginning gardeners, and it is National Gardening Month.
Yes.
And so for beginning gardeners, this might be a perfect way to start.
We have a raised bed self-wicking raised bed class that's going to be coming up, and probably the added benefit with this one is that it's got a water reservoir at the bottom of this raised bed, again based on your design, and that's how that the roots actually grow down further into that, and you don't have to water near as much. That's the one thing with raised beds, is that because it's raised above the soil, you do have to monitor it pretty frequently, because if you think about it, over time it's going to be hot in the summer months, and then a lot of times a lot of that moisture, the wind wicks it out. So with this one, if you have the water reservoir in the bottom of it, that root system is going to grow down deeper, and you're not going to have to water as much. I feel like when people are in the summer months, they're traveling for vacations and things like that. So for a new gardener, I think this would be a great concept. It does cost a little bit more, but again, if you don't have to water it every single day, I think there is added benefit knowing that.
And I think we run into some issues when we overhead water, or when we get a lot of rain, with some of the disease pressures that we have in Kentucky. And so with this self-wicking raised bed, it has that available moisture from the bottom instead of from the top.
Exactly. So like you said, the disease pressure goes down, and really this self-wicking raised bed can work for not only vegetables, but it can work for flowers, it can work for herbs. I feel like it can fit a lot of different bills that way. And so we wanted to take time to promote our upcoming event, our class, specifically on a little bit more about self-wicking raised beds, the mechanics behind it, the design, and we have coming to our extension office here, Dr. Steve Higgins. He is really an engineer by thought. I mean, you can just tell he's very passionate about the topic. He's actually, had some of his own gardens that are self-wicking raised beds, so he has some experience with it, not just the design aspect of it, but he's going to share all of his expertise on Tuesday, April the 22nd. The class is free and open to the public. It's going to be held here at our office at 6:00 p.m. So I feel like with it coming right on Earth Day, with it being National Gardening Month, it's coming at a really good time.
I think so. And for people who are interested, it sounds a little intimidating, a self-wicking raised bed. Like, it might be hard, but I think Steve can break it down and make it accessible for everybody. So if people want to attend, what do they need to do?
Again, it's free, so you just give us a call here at the Warren County Extension Office. Our telephone number is 270-842-1681. Call and get registered. Bring your gardening friend. It's going to be a great night.
We appreciate you watching the Farm and Home Show, and we'll see you next time.